The end is near. Well, that may no longer be just the rantings of some street corner prophet, because the proof seems to be unfolding right before our very eyes. A city killer asteroid hurtling towards Earth has just improved its odds of actually impacting the planet. And the Yellowstone supervolcano heating up with thousands of new thermal hotspots, a mass stranding of whales in Australia, and another possible warning from the deep. The Doomsday Fish is back. Record shattering climate events wreaking havoc across the planet. Coincidence? Or are we witnessing something bigger at play here, folks? But fear not, there are some good news too. A brand new UFO documentary claiming to expose the greatest secret in human history. Could disclosure finally happen? And some mysterious paintings that may just challenge everything we think we know about dinosaurs. Oh, the stories are real. The drinks are too. And we all know, my friends, words be hard. Join me, Chachi, Sweet Tea, and Greg for the all new, all strange, and all supernatural headlines of the week. I'm Dave Schrader, and this is our Paranormal 60 News. Good evening, my darklings. Listen, today I woke up to scour the news from across the planet for the best, the strangest, the weirdest, the wildest, to bring them directly to you. And it was a bit of an alarming news day here in the United States and around the world as I gathered up each one of the stories, started to paint a very, very weird picture. And I thought, well, you know what? If our friends and fans and followers across the world woke up to this, they may be in a bit of a fog today. They might be a little glassy-eyed and not sure. And I thought, what better way to make them feel better than spending this odd night with their favorite paranormal newscasters? So that's what we're going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me from somewhere, probably a hidden bunker in some, I don't know, underground mine, words is hard, below Fort Knox, the one, the only. Good chance it's Chachi is here with us. Hey, Chach, how you doing this evening?
Glossy-eyed and unsure. That describes me.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I'm so happy to be here.
I am too, in spite of the strange news. It is a night filled with friendship and love and revelry and probably a lot of drinking is my thought.
I assume that just means that only you and I are going to be on the show?
No, we've got more joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, the more feminine mystique aspect of the show. The one, the only, Sweetie.
Oh, it wasn't Greg. I was really shocked that I came on.
I said feminine.
I know.
I thought it was Greg as well, Sweet Tea. So
thank you. That was weird.
Greg, just for the record, you were second place in that order. We got a lot of weird stuff to get to, so let me try. This is going to take a few seconds here because I have to try to patch our link in with Greg. If I can hack this camera, we are heading right up to the ISS. Greg, can you hear us? Are you there, Greg?
There's a lag.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good, buddy. How is it up there in the ISS?
I'm kind of getting used to it. This I'm a little nauseous at this point.
Have you stopped vomiting?
Yeah, but it's really weird. Grolsch, I don't know if it has its own like gravitational pull or whatever, but it works pretty good up here.
I don't know what that means.
Gravitational pull off of that Grolsch. What are you drinking tonight, Chachi?
You know, excuse me as I swallow my drink here. I'm kind of taking the Sweet Tea approach now. I like how every week she does a different drink. I'm not a big fan of mixed drinks. So I think going forward, Number one, I'm going to get back to doing our hashtag shirts. It's been a
Good.
while.
Okay.
Got new shirts in, so those will start next week. But I'm also going to do a different drink every week, Dave.
Oh, you're gonna copy me. Cool.
No. I'm not going to make a drink. I'm just going to have a nice single barrel, single batch, whatever we want to call it.
How is that different from what you've always done? I'm sorry, go
Because
ahead.
I usually do the same thing. Now I'm going to do something different every week. We're going to have a whole segment, probably 30, 40 minutes, of me just talking about what I'm drinking. At least that's what Dave wants to do.
I really look forward to that.
We'll keep that right near what we call the end of the show, right there at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So this is the first inaugural.
Okay.
It's called Penelope Bourbon. This
Did
is
he
the
say the
toasted.
first inaugural?
Inaugural. Yeah.
I got to taste it before the show starts. So,
I saw that.
so Penelope Bourbon. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Penelope Bourbon. And Sweet Tea, what drink have you brought to the festivities this evening?
I've got a bourbon cherry smash that I added a lot of cherry Gatorade to. Thank you.
Oh, fancy. And here I felt like I was going to take the classes down a little bit. I've decided to create my own drink this week because you inspire me, Chachi. And I've decided to do something a little different. It's a little drink I like to call Screw You. Screw You. It is a mixture of Yoo-hoo, the delicious chocolate drink that science still cannot crack the code of. I've shaken the can well.
Uh-huh.
Oh, doesn't that sound refreshing?
Sound of that, yes.
I couldn't do that up here. It would just go
No,
everywhere.
we're just right up in the air. Yeah, and then I've got
That's weird.
my can of iced Screwball in a little pull top tab. This makes me feel like a giant. Hey, everybody, I'm a giant with this little can of beer.
You're scaring me.
Is that straight Screwball, or is it a mixture of something?
No, it's straight Screwball.
Okay,
There
how
we
many
go.
ounces you got there? Like 4 ounces, probably.
This is 70 proof,
14 ounces.
and it is 100 milliliters.
Which
I don't
is
know what that means.
You must have brought
24
that back from Europe with you.
Yeah.
20. That means it's 24 ounces.
That's
don't
not
think
what that means.
I
Like
don't
a-
think the
like
math
a-
is right on
Math.
44 ounces.
My God, I am a giant. I've become so large. This can looks small. Yeah, I don't know. It just let's see.
100 milliliters.
I'm very excited about this drink.
I feel a little. I feel like I might have let them down because it said, "Please enjoy straight up."
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Yeah, it's weird. They had a typo on the can.
Yeah. Let me give it a little mix. Let's see here. We're going chocolate and peanut butter. We're calling this the missing Reese's Pieces.
Dave's not going to make it through the show. There's going to have to be a restroom break.
I'm very excited.
Oh.
Yeah, it
No.
sounds amazing.
The Screw You. I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah. The drink.
Whatever.
Oh,
Whatever. I'm not here to judge, Greg.
know
Yeah,
what's
screw you.
surprising?
I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10 for really cheap drinks.
cheap.
Yeah.
I can make it cheaper.
Well, I know you tried with your orange or
Where were you?
Gatorade.
Gatorade, my God.
Gatorade.
Hey,
I
real
don't
quick,
have anything.
I have to make a quick announcement. It's here, folks. We are a week away from the first inaugural Missouri Paracon. I believe I said that the proper way. The
Mhm.
inaugural Missouri Paracon, February 28th through March 1st at the Ameristar Casino and Hotel in Kansas City, Missouri. You can find more information at MissouriParacon.com or right at darknessevents.com, where I keep all of the information on all of the amazing places I'm going to be this year, and I hope to see many of you there.
Dave,
We
do you have
need-
any- you have any big trips this year?
Yeah, if you go to Darkness Events, like I just mentioned, Chach, you will you'll see. Let's have a sip to stupidity.
Cheers to that.
Surprised y'all are so excited.
Just trying to find my first hashtag. That's all.
Greg, I like that. You're kind of Thomas Dolbying it with your gravity defying hairdo.
crazy
Yeah.
out here.
It's nuts. I wonder, would my nose hair like come out and stand straight up?
Or right.
Would
Sometimes it goes.
Would I look
there.
like Salvador Dali?
I don't think that was what was going
He
on
had
there.
the pointy mustache.
Mustache.
Yeah.
You're right. It wasn't nose hair though.
Are you sure? I mean, this is
Nope.
really just an extension. I could be wrong. Speaking
Oh,
of
is
being
that what that
wrong,
means?
let's get started. Our first story goes to the man with the plan up in outer space.
Oh, it does. Really?
Yes, ISS reporter.
Yes, buddy.
Greg
Did
lost
you
it.
get those?
Yeah.
And
30
you're up.
I got them 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So radio signals from a distant planet, but not what you think, folks. It is not what you think. When we hear the words radio signal from space, it's easy to imagine an alien DJ broadcasting across the cosmos, but hold off on the sci-fi soundtrack. What astronomers have actually detected from a distant planet, YZ Ceti b, isn't a message, but a natural radio signal that could reveal something even more exciting: a magnetic field. So why is that a big deal? Well, a magnetic field is what helps protect the planet's atmosphere from being stripped away by solar radiation. Just like Earth's magnetic field deflects harmful cosmetic
rays. Yeah. I'll drink to that.
Yay.
cosmic rays. Without it,
Oh.
planets become barren wastelands, much like Mars. Here's what's happening. YZ Ceti b, a rocky exoplanet orbiting a star just 12 light years away, appears to have a strong magnetic field interacting with its star. This interaction produces radio waves, not like the ones bringing this show to your internet, no, but rather the kind that naturally occur when charged particles and magnetic fields collide. The key here is that scientists detected a coherent radio signal, meaning its structure, not a random space noise. I don't know what that means. This is the first time astronomers have captured such a signal from a distant planet, and it could be a game changer in identifying planets that might be habitable. Does this mean aliens? Not quite, but it does mean we're getting closer at being able to identify planets that have the right conditions to support life. And that, my friends, is a big step forward in answering the ultimate question, which is, are we alone in the universe?
No.
See, I love that you dug into this story for me, because I kept asking Greg, I'm like, listen, they keep making all of these announcements of, oh, we're picking up radio signals. And like most people, I'm thinking, are we listening to like CB radio from another planet beaming a message out into space? Are we picking up stray radio frequencies from some planets, DJs? No, that's never what this means. Never. Even the WOW signal was not radio waves like we think of them. So I appreciate you sharing this, because it does help to, it's an attention grabbing headline when radio signals are being detected from space. People think somebody's trying to contact us. So I appreciate you taking the time to clear that misnomer up, right?
Yeah, radio, but it's pronounced radio signals from space, not just radio signals from space.
I'm sorry.
He didn't write that article, right?
Who? Greg? Are you sure? Because it was filled with a lot of words he could say.
Well, and a lot he couldn't.
That
for cosmic rays
is cosmetic rays.
Mm-hmm. Cosmetic rays seem to be a little bit of a tongue challenge for our dear little brother. All right, sweetie, you have a chance to step forward and let your inner light shine. Where are we going next?
Well, not too far. Are we ready to meet aliens?
Sure.
Experts say not even close.
Oh.
Imagine waking up to the news. We've made contact with extraterrestrial life. Exciting, right? But here's the kicker. What happens next? For decades, scientists have been scanning the cosmos for signs of intelligent life, wrestling with the Fermi paradox. The idea that in a universe this vast, we should have encountered aliens by now. But what if the issue isn't their absence, but our complete lack of preparation? Right now, there's no global game plan for our first contact, no international agreement, no step-by-step manual, nothing that tells us how to handle such a reality-shifting moment. Would governments scramble? Would panic set in? Who gets to be the official voice of Earth? So, is there a strategy? Either the answer is no, or governments aren't publicizing their plans. The impact would be massive, politically, religiously, even psychologically. Some believe that in an advanced civilization reaches out, or if one does, it might be peaceful, having overcome its own internal struggles. Others warn that history teaches a darker lesson. When more advanced societies meet less advanced societies, it doesn't always go well for the latter. So, while we search the skies for a cosmetic neighbor, that's a shout out to you, Greg, maybe it's time to ask ourselves, what's our plan if they actually say hello? Back to you, Dave.
See, she can read.
She can read all the last year and a half of us going through what she was doing. I know.
It's the Gatorade.
What are you talking about?
Gatorade.
Yeah, yes, I'm
You just needed
hydrating
some
today.
electrolytes.
Her
What?
tongue has enough electrolytes, finally.
Man.
I did really bad on that. I don't know what you guys are talking about. but
Oh,
go
no.
ahead.
That was probably the best you've ever read in your life.
That's not true at all, but
Oh,
thank you.
On this show. Let me go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Definitely on this show. Mhm.
Wow. So that's interesting. So there's really no known game plan for alien interaction from any known political structure.
There's got to be, but they're not going to tell us because that would be admitting that they believe there might be aliens, right? Right?
I don't know. You know what is interesting is there are some fire departments that have sent me scans of their handbooks on how to deal with different type of scenarios. And in a lot of them, there is how to handle and deal with a UFO crash. Now, they say that it's to protect because, hey, we do have to think about this. You want to think about radiation. You want to think about how are we going to deal with a fire? We don't know if it's electric or what kind of fire we're dealing with. So it is interesting that they put that in there, and they might be doing it as kind of having some fun. Because if you remember a bunch of years back, Greg, you remember this when they were doing those zombie preparedness meetings.
Oh, I remember
that.
Yeah. And we were, yeah, oh, they're so funny. But no zombies have risen since. So maybe they're effective at what they're doing.
Hello.
Agreed. Interesting. Interesting. I guess that leads us to Chachi with the next story.
Hold on 1 second.
I thought he had story 12 and 13.
No, he's got 45 and 62.
Yeah. No, he's we got to give him one in the beginning here so that we can gauge it against what happens later in the show.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't want to ruin it, but let's just say there's a good story much, much later in the show.
Yeah.
In the
All
shoe?
right.
Did you say in the shoe?
I may have.
Right here in the big shoe.
Big shoe. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
A new.
He's 2 words in and already blown it. New.
Because I was going to pronounce the next word, and then I realized I think it's just letters. The new UFO. I was trying to figure out how to pronounce that as I was reading. The new UFO documentary claims the biggest discovery in humanoid history.
What?
Humanoid?
Yep. Now, listen closely. I'm going to give away a lot of Easter eggs in this story. You ready?
Okay, we need you to speak up a little bit because apparently the tin can and the string that you're using to speak to us, the string is not as taut as you'd hoped.
The strung is not as
Yeah,
taut.
that's
Here
what
we
he
go.
said.
You heard me.
Here we go. A groundbreaking documentary titled The Age of Disclosure. Write that down. It's going to premiere at the new South by Southwest Film Festival in Austin, Texas. And it promises to unveil what is called and what is being called the biggest discovery in human history.
Dun, dun, dun.
It was filmed in secrecy, David. The documentary features 34 secret interviews with high-ranking officials from, count this up, the U.S. government, the military, and our intelligence communities. These insiders, these 34 people, are going to allege, I want to say that so you don't get sued, Dave, allege that there's been an 80-year cover-up surrounding the existence of what is being called non-human intelligent life. And it suggests that the global powers have been engaged in a clandestine effort to reverse engineer extraterrestrial technology. Now, you're probably wondering, Dave, first question I had, who directed this? Dan Farah. I think we all know Dan Farah.
Oh, Dan. Yeah.
He did E.T. He did Jaws. He did
No,
Star Wars.
that's Steven Spielberg.
Yeah,
Oh.
I thought.
Well,
Yeah.
I think Dan was part of the team, but the film includes perspectives from notable
Notable,
What?
you say?
Oh,
notable figures,
fancy.
Dave,
I saw that movie. I could review that movie.
such as Christopher Mellon. Everybody
Mhm.
knows him from Law and Order, right?
Right?
Also, a former Department of Defense official. He describes the revelations as potentially the biggest discovery in human history. Let's bring that other slide back up for a second, Dave, if you don't mind. Listen. Louis Elizondo, you know who that is, Dave?
Yes,
Yeah,
love the
Lou
man.
Elizondo. Yeah.
Yeah, Lou. He led the penitentiaries, the Pentagon's
Oh
advanced
boy.
aerospace threat identification program
Uh-huh.
called the FBI. Asserts that withheld information could and possibly would and damn near may change the trajectory.
Trajectory.
Yes, the trajectory of our species, Dave.
Trajectory.
Wow.
Bottom line, the documentary aims to shed light on decades of secrecy and provoke a global conversation about the implication.
Jesus. The implication.
I can't keep up, dude.
Of these findings. Listen, as we get closer to the release, the age of disclosure is poised to become a pivotal.
God.
Even I have to laugh at myself. There's no B in pivotal.
No, there's
A pivotal piece in the ongoing discourse about unidentified aerial phenomena and humanity's place in the cosmos. Back to you, Dave. Pivotal. That might be the hashtag. Pivotal.
Yes.
I might need to give listeners around the world a chance to let their kidneys breathe for a few seconds.
And the liver. And the liver.
And the liver. Yeah. Forgot about that. I've pretty much given up on your liver. I once
just freaking twisted up.
There's a GoFundMe for my liver coming up. I assure you.
Oh,
I
that's
once
great.
drank with Chachi so much that he literally stopped mid-glass, which I've never seen, and he began pushing on his stomach, going, "Oh, my liver!" Oh, and it bulged out like an alien trying to burst forth.
It did. I saw that.
It was like he had a fanny pack wedged under his fleshy bits,
Full of scotch.
so full of scotch.
Oh,
Scotchy.
You should maybe get that checked out, bro.
He said, "I'll be fine in the morning,"
Oh God.
and he was. He let me poke
Yeah, I
his
was.
fleshy spot in the morning, and there was no more pouchiness. And I didn't hear
Scotch.
I didn't hear the crying of his liver. It
I
was
hope
terrible.
everybody had a few drinks during my story.
So
Thank you.
many.
Thank you.
You know, sometimes I look at a word and I'm like, I think I got this. And then I get closer to the word and I'm like, I know I got this. And then I say the word and I'm like, shiz, I did not have that word.
It's a pivotal part of your conversation.
Pivotal.
Yeah.
Pivotal.
I like that you end it with the age of disclosure is poised to become a pivotal piece in the ongoing discourse about unidentified aerial phenomena and humanity's place in the cosmos.
He's a show off.
That kind of fits into these next two stories because you remember we did a couple of stories like a month or two ago. They were talking about this. It was like a Mayan temple, and engraved on it looked like a stegosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying there's no way that's anything but a stegosaurus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, this is that is an interesting little one-off. Not so much. These two things popped up in my news today. Let's take a look, shall we?
Yeah.
Look at
This
this.
painting. So for those of you watching, you get to see the painting. For those of you listening, I'll just use the eloquence of words to paint the image
Oh
for you.
no.
In 1562, artist Peter Bruce Gale painted something astonishing. What appears to be dinosaur creatures centuries, you heard me, centuries before science even knew dinosaurs existed. And with modern paleontology not emerging until the 1800s, how did Gale create such an accurate depiction? More than just fossils? Well, some suggest he may have seen fossilized remains. The detail in his work suggests a more direct knowledge of these creatures. Fossil discoveries in the 16th century were often misidentified as dragon bones. But Gale's depiction features living detail, not just skeletal guesswork. For those of you that are just listening, these are very clearly brachiosaurs or brontosaurs that he has painted into this image. And it's like a caravan of people making their way across, and somebody is poised on the back of this brontosaur. And there's two of them in the run. Some researchers, though, believe ancient civilizations may have had more knowledge of dinosaurs than we ever assumed, passed down through forgotten texts, oral traditions, or even firsthand encounters with creatures thought to be extinct. Could Gale's painting be evidence of lost historical knowledge rather than just mere artistic imagination? Whatever the truth, his 1562 masterpiece raises one unsettling question. Did humanity once know more about dinosaurs than we do now? Now, I got to ask you all, looking at this painting and the close-ups of this painting, these are not camels, right? I mean, I think we can all agree they
Those
are
are
not
not
showing a
camels.
depiction of camels
No. Do we know where this painting is supposed to take place?
on Earth.
Oh,
Yeah,
It could be a
Where's
camel
that?
with a snake neck.
yeah, those are real
Craig.
popular out back in the day.
Jesus.
You got to forgive him. He's been up in the ISS a while, and that gravitational pull's pulling the brain up to the
Dude,
top of the skull and banging it repeatedly.
the lack of pressure, air
Oxygen.
pressure, stuff up here.
It's crazy. Look at him floating around like that. I don't know. That to me was incredible. I saw that and I was very excited. But lo and behold, MSN News had more to share with me. Check this dilly out. You heard what I said. This one's a dilly. Uh-huh.
What?
This
Look at those
comes
guys.
from deep within the rugged hills of central Sardinia, near Sonorbi, lies a cave steeped in mystery.
Steeped.
Santu Taru, home of the island's oldest known cave paintings, dating back 7,000 to 8,000 years. These extraordinary artworks provide a rare glimpse into the lives of Sardinia's earliest inhabitants, and possibly something even more astonishing. Among the most striking images is a dynamic hunting scene where bow-wielding figures pursue a herd of deer, their movements frozen in time across the cave walls, yet some of the creatures depicted defy explanation. Alongside recognizable animals are these mysterious reptilian-like dinosaur figures that bear an uncanny resemblance to things like Tyrannosaurus rex and Brontosaurus. Now, this is again, they're looking at this. Could these creatures have been part of the oral tradition? Firsthand encounters with these creatures lost to time? It appears that they're coming from forgotten knowledge, actual things that people at that time were coming into contact with. Some researchers suggest that the figures just represent early interpretations of fossilized remains, while others argue they could be remnants of myths passed down from a distant past. Now, beyond these enigmatic creatures, the cave walls feature intricate geometric symbols hinting at spiritual beliefs or possibly an early form of written communication. This cave, discovered in 1952, the Santo Turu cave paintings have reshaped our understanding of Sardinia's prehistoric past, confirming human settlement during the Neolithic period, while raising new questions about what these ancient artists truly saw. Though the cave remains off limits to the public. Wow, is that a dinosaur calling out? Did I just hear that?
Did you hear that?
It was like,
My mic was muted, so it wasn't me.
Okay. You got it, Chatter Tummy. So the images on here are pretty compelling. Again, why would they be trying to represent fossilized images like they're attacking them, hunting them?
That's nonsense.
And what I did try to do a quick lookup was, show me cave paintings depicting fossilized remains. You may be surprised to find there are none. It's a round number, none.
Also, if it was word of mouth, story is told time and time, decades, generations, that still means that people hunted dinosaurs.
Yes. It's crazy. It's crazy. Speaking of crazy, here's another weird little conspiracy. I don't know if you guys follow cartoon conspiracies, but the thought is that the Flintstones
Is it real?
Don't.
take place in the future.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the Jetsons are the past.
Yeah.
That's why they have all of those things like TVs and garbage disposals and cars
Christmas.
and Christmas. Yes.
Tell me more about this, Dave. Hold on.
Okay, have a sip.
So
It'll help you swallow. There's one.
So what happens that the Flintstones are the future?
I think we're about to get into what could happen to put us back into the Stone Age. That's going to be the next part of tonight's show. But before then, before we start getting weird and dark, let's just purge our minds. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll come back. We've got more stories to share, and be prepared, folks. Trigger warning. A lot of the stories we're about to share are very, very weird, very dark, and are actually being reported by major news sources about potential threats to our planet that should take place sometime in the next 7 to 10 years. We'll chew on that during the break.
Oh, are you reading me? Come in. Hello? Greetings from the Shadow, and welcome to Shadowzine. My name is Jeff Belanger. I'm an author, podcaster, and explorer of the unexplained. For 30 years, I've been investigating the paranormal, UFOs, monsters, and things that bump in the night. Lately, you may have noticed how major TV networks and even social media networks have been pushing our favorite subject back into the shadows. I say good. That's why I launched Shadowzine, a monthly underground publication that covers your favorite topics in depth by some of the leading writers and researchers out there. If you're looking for 30-second TikTok clips, go somewhere else. If you're ready for a deeper dive, put down your phone and pick up Shadowzine. You can't find it in stores. This is old school print. Head to shadowzine.com and be part of the underground revolution. That's shadowzine.com, and I'll see you in the shadow.
Excellent. We will put a link up for Shadowzine on today's program guide so that you can find it and subscribe to it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me again, we have Chachi. We have the paranormal astronaut. Look at that. Why in outer space, where there is no real good ambient light, is your lighting never been better?
I don't know. It's there's a lot of LEDs here.
Yeah. And of course, Sweet Tea. Okay. We have
Rude.
got some other story. What? I'm making sure that you are involved in this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make sure you're so involved in this that right now, folks,
it's time now for Upon Further Review.
Yeah, you heard me. It's Upon Further Review. And when I was alerted to a movie that was released starring America's sweetheart, Corey Feldman, a new movie called The Birthday, known to be kind of a horror-ish, I said horror-ish movie. I said, who do I know well enough that deserves to watch this movie? And first I thought, Greg, no, he won't do it. Then I thought, nope, not Chachi. Even the Colonel refused to take my calls to make this one short cameo. So all I was left with, for desperate friends with nothing better to do, was our very own Sweetie. And she's here now to review the Corey Feldman instant classic that is The Birthday. Sweetie, tell us the story. What do you
Thanks
think?
for that great intro. That was really nice.
Welcome.
Hey, everybody. You guys like movies? Let's talk movies. If you want to see a really great horror movie that dabbles in the occult, you should definitely watch Cabin in the Woods. Listen, if you really love a quirky little movie about the paranormal and a little bit of comedy, you with Corey Feldman, you should definitely watch Dream a Little Dream. If you want to see, let's say, Corey Feldman doing an impression of a combination of who did I write down? Oh yeah, Ed Grimley and say Columbo, and maybe you want to be confused for an hour and 59 minutes. You should definitely watch this movie.
Really?
It was really confusing. It was a gorgeous set, an Art Deco hotel made out of cardboard, apparently. It was gorgeous. It was the sound design, amazing. Really an assault on the senses in every way you could think of. I'm just saying, you guys, it was painful, and I'm gonna give it like maybe 1 phantom out of 5. It hurt a little bit, you guys.
It hurt.
Could
It
I
was-
ask a question, Dave?
Sure, but I do want to make mention. These are the kind of movies Sweet Tea lives for.
It is, and it was so hard. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Chachi, go ahead, buddy. You got a question?
Sweet tea. I learned absolutely nothing from that overview.
Thank you.
If
Thank
you could do me
you.
a favor,
Hmm.
and the listeners a favor.
Yeah,
Is it about a
I don't know.
birthday? You don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Listen, if you're really interested and you really want to see what this movie is about, skip forward about an hour and 47 minutes into this 2-hour movie. You will be very confused, but not any more confused than if you had watched the entire movie. And then you get to see some action finally, because nothing happens for an hour and 47 minutes.
Now, is this a new movie, Sweet Tea?
It was actually made in 2004 and only now released because everyone was like, no, thank you.
And where did you watch this? Streaming?
This is on Shudder right now.
Shudder.
Are we sure it's not on Shitter?
I'm not sure of that, no.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like that's where
Finally
it'll belong. Yeah. I'm just bringing up what I thought of it. So again, 1 phantom, it's great. 5 phantoms.
Oh, it's great.
1 phantom, it sucks. 5 phantoms, it's amazing. How many phantoms are you giving this?
I'm giving it 1. I'm giving it 1.
Okay. Because
Dave, have you seen it?
you confused me and all of the listeners when you went to like a 10-point scale on the show.
I
where we
did?
only did 5.
I thought I said 5. Listen, I have been drinking.
No, because you gave it a 6 or a 5 out of 10, I think it was.
I
something
thought
like
I
that.
said, well, okay.
No, I
Okay.
haven't seen it because it's Corey Feldman, Chach.
Not
I
a big
thought that's why you
Feldman
would see it.
No.
fan? Alien fan?
You love
I-
him.
No, I had listen. Lost Boys, sure, you got it. I'm in.
Uh-huh.
Freddie or Jason Voorhees new blooding hacking movie that he was in. Sure, who didn't like young Corey Feldman shaving his head and turning into Jason at the end? Spoiler alert! But I can't think of another.
Yeah, there was the where he was the kid. in the-
Stand By Me. You're right. That was a good one.
and when
nope.
he
Nope, you're wrong. All the rest are garbage.
no,
Plus,
not-
maybe
not
I'd have
like
been
the mouth.
maybe I would have been a little bit more
Tom Hanks was in it. What was the movie?
forgiving. Forrest Gump.
Castaway.
You've got mail?
Jesus.
He was. I don't think he was in the movie Jesus.
I
That
don't
was
think so
Jim
either.
Caviezel. But anyway, I met Corey Feldman at a horror convention here in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, where I was also a presenter, and my table was right across from old CF, as I like to call him, and I saw this line of eager Beaver fans wrapped around the corner, so excited. He was there with his angels, his angels, yeah.
Oh,
His
yeah.
women dressed,
Yeah.
scantily clad angels standing behind him. And this is, honest to God, the conversation I heard 10 minutes into his autograph session. I'm not here to talk about the movies. I'm here to promote my new music. My music is what I'm all about now. And then he gets up and storms out of the room.
Ugh.
He's at a horror movie convention.
Even if he wasn't, bad look.
Yeah. But when you go to a horror movie convention,
Yeah.
and then don't want to talk about the horror movies, I understand. Use that as your bridging. Say, yeah, I was in a lot of great movies, and if they didn't scare you enough, check out my crappy ability at music. That should terrify you. And gentlemen, if you do not want to ever procreate, let me sing to your genitals, and I will kill all swimmers within earshot. So
Does that
you going to
work?
tell me The
Mhm.
Burbs wasn't a good movie?
The Burbs
I'm-
was a good movie.
I'm here to tell you the Burbs sucked. Sucked. So bad.
Really?
Sucked. Next, you're going to tell me you're a fan of the Money Pit movie, also a Tom Hanks garbage sleeper.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on. The greatest performance by Corey Feldman
Uh-huh.
back in early 2000s,
The
Mhm.
Goonies?
01.
I forgot the
He
Goonies.
was in a documentary, The
Okay.
Legend of Ron Jeremy.
Okay. All right.
If you haven't watched it, take 90 minutes of your life and watch it.
Don't
is-
do it.
Mm,
Is
Thank you.
Chachi up there in the ISS with you? We're having trouble with his connectivity.
So
Because
The
I know-
Burbs.
Yeah, the Burbs now sounds like a much better movie to me.
Yeah.
And wishing
So
I'd have
the
caught that.
Incubus, and the Succubus. Remember that?
Oh yeah. No, the Burbs.
You need to watch The Burbs again. It was great.
Do
It was a
I?
great- Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It was-
You know, I will admit I was on I think a teenage date making out a lot during that movie.
oh, you got to watch it,
Mm.
man. It's a great movie.
Okay. All right. I'll watch the Burbs and I'll report on it next week. How about that?
Don't do that. Don't do
you
that.
sound like a liar, but do it.
No, I don't do that. I don't say I'll watch a movie and then just leave the
You should.
back
It's
of the
really
box.
Like
fun.
the rest of us.
God, you guys suck. You suck so bad. But anyway, to conclude my story, Corey Feldman made his way back in after being told by the event coordinators, you're not going to get paid. And he came back in because he was on what we call a guarantee.
What's that?
And that means that let's say to have Dave Schrader appear at your conference, I need to be guaranteed $10,000. So what they're going to do is I'm going to go sell my wares. And if I sell $10,000 worth of stuff, the company doesn't have to pay me. If I don't, whatever, let's say I made 6,000, the company has to pay me the other 4,000 to bring me up to 10 grand.
Prove it.
Yeah. So that's they do. They usually have an assistant sit there with a check mark page that checks every autograph you sell and every piece of merchandise so that then at the end they can tabulate how much you've made and how much they're going to owe you. But he makes his way back in, does this, and refuses to look up or speak to the next probably 100 people. He literally just keeps his head down, takes the picture, writes his name on it, pushes it away, grabs the next picture roughly, slams it down, signs it, pushes it away. Dude, I understand we all have bad days.
Sure. But what a brat.
Oh, brat
I
with a
could
capital
fix that.
Prick. Yeah.
Wow. I don't think that's how you
I'd like to
spell
know-
it.
What?
Listen,
Send
I'm
him
one
up
of
here.
these people that believes there's two sides to every story, Dave.
Uh-huh.
And that has been your experience, and I believe it's 110% correct.
Mm-hmm.
However, I would like to ask if anybody's listening right now live, if you have had an experience with Mr. Feldman, please put that in the chat and let us know what your experience has been.
I'm not going to put it up on screen, but go ahead and let us know. There's nothing you can do to turn me around on this.
I was trying to get you to be his friend. I wanted him on the show.
No, I would never.
Why?
If Corey Feldman right now popped into our live chat and said, Dave Schrader, let me be a part of tonight's show and apologize to you and the universe, I would say
Yes,
the wrong
please.
Corey died.
Wow.
Whoa.
On.
You've got to learn to
That's-
adjust that microphone so it doesn't peak.
Well,
quite
I
as
was
high.
screaming because you
Yeah.
shocked me.
He's horrible. He's a horrible human being. I have no love or anything for him.
Okay,
He's-
listen, I wasn't planning on going down
He
this
was
path.
great in The Burbs.
Is there anybody, Dave, that you would put even below him that you personally experienced at an event
I know there is.
besides Sweet Tea?
Lou
Yeah.
Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno
Oh, I've
could
heard
also
this.
gravitationally be pulled off this planet and not a tear would be shed from my eyes.
I sold a bunch of Hulks to him.
What?
Good story. I like the way you presented it. The
Brought
follow
it
through.
down. Good job, Lawson.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Speaking of bringing it down, let's get to the news. That's why people tune into
Oh.
the show. And
That's
Greg,
right.
This is the beginning of the dark cloak that is falling over our planet.
I'm not
First of
ready.
all, I do want to mention, before we get into all of these strange natural disasters, show of hands, all of us are pretty well-versed travelers. How many have been watching the news and a little bit afraid to get on an airplane? Because every week,
Dave, listen.
Every
I
week.
was looking at the news today, right?
Yeah.
The
news?
This is the news, Dave. And I pulled up my travel app.
Mm-hmm.
I have, with just American Airlines alone, over 2 million miles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I looked at a flight and I was like, nah, I'll drive. 600 miles, I can do that. I traveled for years. What the hell is going on right now?
I don't know. And it's not just like, oh, well, now we're all more aware of it. No, these kind of news stories would have been out every week if these things were happening. But over the last month and a half, it has gone crazy. What I'm freaked out about is the flight that left Minneapolis, landed in Toronto upside down, and nobody knows what happened. Nobody's talking about, well, it came in at an angle and clipped and flipped. Nobody knows.
Did you see the video?
It did
It's
come
not
in.
saying anything.
It didn't look like it came in at an angle. It looked like it came in fast, but then it just like flipped. And
normally they bring the nose up right before you kiss,
right,
and land. He did not bring that nose up, man. He just freaking took it right into the ground.
So you're thinking of pilot error, Greg?
It's got to be, man. They have so like in the Navy, you have a ACLS, automatic carrier landing system, and the carrier can actually land the aircraft. They can go completely hands off, and actually during carrier quals, the pilots have to do that once. So when you go out, carrier qualifications, when you send your aircraft, your air wing out to the aircraft carrier, then they do all their qualifications before you deploy.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those landings, it's my understanding that they have to do with hands off, and they do it with ACLS just to kind of a confidence kind of thing with the pilots. So they have the ability to do that stuff on landing, but it's typically controlled by the pilot. In that one, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Welcome to the age of disclosure. Greg he's answering the big questions.
So now here's the thing, though, and I don't want to get into the flying of an airplane, right? But like those little CRJs, little regional jets, those aren't like the big boys, right? Where they have
those, man. Yeah.
Right. You got to be engaged. And the other thing is, if you're a pilot who just got your license, aren't you starting on small airplanes?
Oh boy.
I know. You're not charging.
You're not even reading.
No, that's the great part about it, right? I talk this way all the time. So I just want to make sure everybody knows. Don't get on a CRJ. That's all I'm saying.
I'm very there was another head-on collision today, I believe, mid-air, right? Isn't that the new news?
Wait a minute. Mid-air?
I don't know. I saw a headline.
Two small aircraft ran into each other.
How does that happen?
One is flying this way, this one's flying this way, and they bump into each other.
I like Dave's explanation better than Greg's.
Yeah.
I understand that one.
Because people are getting fired in the air control places with the towers?
This happened in Canada. Stop being Tommy. Let's get to the stories, Dave.
I'm asking a question. I wasn't making an accusation.
Sounded accusatory to me.
That's
Greg,
Greg, right?
Let's get to it. We got news to support. Now you're up in the ISS. The NASA officials have allowed this. Let's get to the next story, shall we?
Yeah, it would be good if we can kind of move on to that. Stand by.
How come the cap didn't float away?
That's weird, right? It's we're actually in a spin right now
because your hair is still standing up like there's no gravity.
It's Grolsch. I don't know. Grolsch beer just acts different in space.
That's crazy.
But we warn city killer asteroid risk. It triples in a mere few weeks. That's right. NASA has raised the alarm on asteroid 2024 YR4. It's a space rock between 130 and 300 feet wide with a 3.1% chance of impact on December 22nd, 2032. A massive jump from just 1% in only 25 days. This marks the highest probability ever recorded for a major asteroid strike. Hurtling through space at 38,000 miles an hour, this potential planetary threat could release 8 megatons of energy upon impact, enough to flatten a city and wreak havoc within a 30-mile radius.
Oof.
The projected impact zone stretches from the Pacific Ocean across South America, the Atlantic across Africa and South Asia, with major cities like Bogota, Lagos, and Mumbai in the danger corridor. NASA is enlisting the James Webb Space Telescope to refine trajectory data and assess whether the deflection mission is appropriate, like the DART impactor tested in 2022, and whether it could work or not. However, some experts warn it may already be too late for intervention. While there's still a 96.9% chance the asteroid will miss Earth, the rapid increase in risk has scientists on edge. Stay tuned. This could be one of the most urgent space threats of our time, Dave. Back to you.
And if I'm not mistaken, just a couple of weeks ago is like in the 1% range. Then it became the 2% range. Now we're up to 3%. And we're how many years off?
Yeah, we're only like what, 5 weeks or 25 days ago when it was only at 1%, and now it's 3%.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, it just goes up 1% every week. Yay!
No, then that puts it at 52% chance of hitting us by the end of the year.
Exactly.
Oh, what? That's dark.
How big is this this asteroid? Do we know?
Oh, yes. It's slightly bigger than Corey Feldman's ego.
That's huge.
We're all doomed if that's
Yeah.
It's huge,
Yeah.
man.
I'm scared.
I'm not trying to be funny. It's just huge. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So-
do think it's weird. I do think it's weird that like NASA warns city killer asteroid triples. The risk triples. But it's only at 3%. That still sounds so small. But then you realize if they're still sweating 3%, it sure feels like maybe they're rounding down.
Yeah,
Maybe
a little
rounding
bit.
down a little bit to make us not freak out. And then the whole line of, hey, this is going to take 7 years, and we're probably already too late to stop it. With 7 years prep time, we can't stop it.
Pretty sure
Mhm.
SpaceX could put something together in about a month.
I'm pretty sure they're
I
not.
did
But
some quick
listen.
math. How many of us will be here in 7 years?
Oh,
Dave?
not me. Oh no,
will.
I'm out. I'm
Yeah,
out.
I've got to
Hey,
finish paying all my bills.
So
Yeah.
you basically live to pay the bills?
I'll be 112 before I figure I can retire for a day and then die the next day.
If I'm not
planning
mistaken,
on-
you can get Social Security up to 350 years old.
I hope so.
Oh, is that true?
That's
According
what
to the news today, yeah. Greg,
I'm
is that why you're in the ISS and you were so willing to get up there? You just want a front row view as
I'm going to
the planet
video
is not
everything. It's going to be great. It'll be on
Wait.
TikTok.
who are you going to TikTok it to?
That's, oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Oh
we-
no.
Sweet tea,
Hit it.
you have the con. Let's go.
All
Let's just
right.
keep the
Okay.
happiness rolling.
All right. Well, then let's talk about Earth's largest supervolcano.
Earth.
Shows unprecedented activity. Shut up, Greg. In a startling development, the Yellowstone caldera, Earth's largest supervolcano, this is going to be hard, is exhibiting signs of awakening. Scientists have detected over 10,000 thermal hotspots within the caldera, a significant increase from previous observations. These hotspots indicate rising magma and heightened geothermal activity beneath the surface. The Yellowstone caldera, located in Wyoming, has experienced 3 major eruptions in the past 2.1 million years. The most recent occurred approximately 640,000 years ago. An eruption of this magnitude today could have catastrophic global consequences, including widespread ash fallout, climate disruption, and severe impacts on agriculture and infrastructure. If we look at the rough intervals between eruptions, 800,000 years and 660,000 years, some researchers estimate that we could be overdue by about 20,000 to 40,000 years based on past patterns. The Yellowstone Volcano Observatory continues to monitor the situation closely, employing advanced seismic and satellite technologies to track changes in the caldera's behavior. So, while we're technically within the window of possible eruption based on past intervals, there's no definitive way to predict if or when it will actually happen. But Yellowstone waking up like this, definitely worth keeping an eye on. I would rather have asteroids personally, but go ahead.
Possible Yellowstone supervolcano eruption. The kill zone is brutal. The primary ash zone, you're pretty much dead there too. The secondary ash zone, they're still showing. I mean, that's like nuclear winter for about a year and a half. And it looks like I'm going to be making that move deep into Texas with Chachi, the Colonel, and Greg.
Are we going to make the compound finally?
I don't know. Yeah. Oh. Big. Oh,
maybe ash on me.
Maybe one of the asteroids already hit Chachi's house. He seems to be knocked off, which is not good because he's got the next story. Do you think there's any? I don't know. Do you think maybe he took this moment off?
He got scared.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard him crying a little bit.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move it to the last story.
Yes.
And I'm going to share my stories first. And that way, we give him a chance because we know Chachi. He loves to share his stories, especially this deep into the show. But before we do that, let's just take a very short break. We'll be back with more strange stories you'll wish you didn't know right after this. A new year is here, and with Valentine's Day just around the corner, it's the perfect time to look ahead. Whether you're thinking about love, a new career path, a move, or even an investment, wouldn't it be amazing to know what messages the universe or the other side have in store for you? Well, that's where Love and Lotus Tarot with Winnie Schrader comes in. Winnie's intuitive readings can help you gain the clarity and guidance you need to carve out a new path. Life is hard enough, my friends. Why not let the cards light the way? Readings are available by phone or live video stream, so you can connect with Winnie wherever you are. And right now, we've got a deal just for you. All readings just 20% off. Use code LOVELOTUS2030 for a 30-minute session. Use code LOVELOTUS2060 for a 60-minute session, and you will save 20% off. Use the code words at checkout to receive that discount. You can book between now and March 1st, 2025 to get the special discount. Don't wait. Visit paranormal60.com. Click on the Love and Lotus tab to book your session today. Discover what the cards have to say and step into your best year yet with Love and Lotus Tarot with Winnie Schrader.
Did you know that radio just got a little extraterrestrial? That's right, Dave Schrader is back on radio with the Paranormal 360 every Sunday evening, 7 to 9 p.m. Central on WCCO AM 830, an Odyssey station. Just download the Odyssey app and look for the WCCO logo, follow the station, and listen live. That's the Paranormal 360 on WCCO AM 830, an Odyssey station.
Welcome back to the program. And apparently, Sandra Kincaid is having none of this. Alarmists crack me up, she says.
What's an alarmist, Dave?
An alarmist is apparently what we're doing right now by stating that the world is coming to an end. And Henny Penny Lawson up in his little ISS capsule trying to avoid all of the destruction that she doesn't think is coming our way.
Well, it's like Chicken Little.
Rude.
Chicken Little, the sky is falling. The sky is falling.
She's probably right. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
She's probably right. It makes me a little bit of worry, but I do think these stories all came in a row today, one after another. And I don't know, was it a slow day in news, or is this considered a busy day in news when all of this trauma comes bubbling up to the top? Or what are we trying to cover?
That's
what
the
else
one. That's that one. That one. That last one.
Going on. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trying to distract us from what's going on.
They're distracting us from the fact that Coyote versus Acme, the movie, has been erased. We'll never see it, folks.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you have it. Yeah. Brutal. Wow. Chachi, You tried to get off and not do your last story of the night, but we pulled you back in like the mob. You're back. Let's share your final story for the evening.
Dave, the reason I took a little break from the show was I needed to get a refill.
Oh,
and
sure.
The refill required ice.
And you couldn't do that when she started her story. You just decided to wait till the end and then just...
It was like an earworm when she was talking, so I just had to just go ahead and log out. And
Thank you.
Yeah,
Were you telling me?
listen, this next story, I've read it probably 37 times.
Okay.
I'm a little...
Since 5 o'clock?
scared.
Since 5 o'clock. You
In the morning.
I
Yeah.
believe it.
Awesome.
What'd you...
I don't like what I'm about to read. So for the person who said we have a little bit of an alarmist, that might be true. I am just reading what other periodicals have said. Don't point to that, Dave.
Periodical.
No, my name. I was pointing to my name, Dave Schrader.
Oh,
right there.
okay.
Yes.
Periodicals.
Here we go. Scientists have sounded the alarm about record-breaking climate shifts. Not change, but shifts, right? So let's be really clear here. Scientists believe that the Earth is warming faster than expected. Now, when I look at the expectations, my expectations are lower than scientists. So I think I'm going to be okay.
Okay.
But we may have already crossed that critical 1.5 degrees Celsius, i.e. European threshold.
That's not even real numbers. Why are we worried about this?
Yeah, I don't really care.
I
No.
put it into my American iPhone, and it couldn't even convert it.
Did it just giggle at you?
It did. It's
Yeah.
like, what's a C?
Yeah.
Put an F in there.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that could be happening in the next few years. Think about this, folks. I'd love to hear if you think it's true or not. Do we all believe that extreme weather is exploding? First off, supercharged hurricanes. Storms are intensifying at record speeds. Everybody remembers Hurricane Milton, right? It jumped from a tropical storm to a Cat 4 in just 4 hours, Dave. That used to take days. It happened in the time that it takes Lawson to go to lunch. Okay, think about that for a second. Then the wildfires, Canada, the US, Europe, our partners in Russia, massive fires burning out of control. They jumped from a category 4. Nope, that was a hurricane, Dave. I was not looking straight at the screen. I'm going to take a step back.
That was confusing.
I'll drink to that.
A quick sip of your drinks, and I'll get back to my
reading. Are you actually reading the thing, or are you just
It's all by memory, and that was a problem. My memory got kind of all hazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your memory is so reedy.
Yeah, it's weird.
Toxic smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of deaths on Earth.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Coral reefs. That's where we all go fishing, right? The planet is facing its worst coral bleaching event, where like places like Australia, Brazil, they're turning white, Dave. They're struggling to survive. Not that beautiful.
Why is that so weird? Because after my Brazilians, I'm usually having my corals bleached.
Oh, that's a lot of stuff to do in one session.
I don't.
Right, but I figure let's just get it done with.
Sure.
Yeah.
How long does that take, Dave?
Longer than it should.
Oh.
Sometimes I feel like they're just dilly-dallying, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. They
Do you
do
think
that.
you're uploading the pictures to the internet?
Yeah.
Dingleberry and that?
Really?
Okay. I want to get back to this, all right?
Okay, I wish you would.
Amazon, our favorite delivery service, is drying up.
I don't believe that to be true. I get boxes delivered 3 times a day here.
Listen, this article said that the Amazon, which they call Earth's lungs, is seeing its worst drought on record, Dave. Drought. That means you're not getting the packages you wanted because they're in a drought.
I don't. Okay.
Are you saying drought?
Drought with a G.
I thought, all right.
River levels. Look at your river. All of you, look out your doors, and you'll see that the rivers are at historic lows. Fires are ripping through the forest. The scientists are telling us the rainforest could start turning into Savannah, Georgia within decades. You know how dry that is, right?
I don't. How dry is it?
I've been to Savannah, Georgia. It's so moist outside
It
all the
sounds
time.
humid. It does
Yeah,
not
it's-
seem dry.
The scientists could be wrong. I'm just reading a story.
I don't think they've been to Savannah, Georgia.
Here's the other thing that scares the bejesus out of me.
Uh-huh.
Oceans and volcanoes, right? Like
Mhm.
ocean currents, Dave, super weak now. The Atlantic, which is to my right, the heat regulating system.
That's your refrigerator. Chachi, that's a refrigerator to your right, not the Atlantic Ocean.
It was made by the company called Atlantic, Dave.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Not
I stand
Frigidaire. I
corrected.
buy Atlantic refrigerator.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's be clear. It has slowed by 15%. So if that collapses, Dave,
Mm-hmm.
Europe's
Mhm.
climate goes into chaos. You're not flying on an airplane. You're not taking a cruise ship. You're not getting there because it has collapsed. Volcanoes,
Yeah.
which have been long been dormant. Dave, how many dormant volcanoes do you think there are in the world?
Too many.
27, Dave. 27 dormant, yeah. But what we're hearing now from volcano experts is that they're waking up. Glaciers are melting, which reduces the pressure on the Earth's crust, which could trigger more volcanic eruptions.
Mhm.
Something we're seeing in Iceland and Alaska. Iceland, Greenland, 51st state, Iceland, 52nd state.
Right.
Okay. We don't want one of our states to fall into the trap of not having volcanoes. Finally,
What is wrong with him? What is wrong with you?
Just read.
That's
He
the
is.
hard part. Listen, adding my own thoughts is easy.
Mm-hmm.
This was 3 paragraphs. This story is somehow 15 minutes and 7 seconds long. It's insane.
Listen, all right,
I
I'm
miss
going to
you,
close this
Chachi.
out. Okay.
No,
So
no,
what do we do
no.
now?
Read the
No,
thing.
bottom line, what do we do now? The window to prevent these catastrophic damages
Mhm.
is closing really fast, Dave. World leaders, I'm not going to list them all, but we know who they are.
Mhm.
They are being pushed to take drastic action. But the question is, Dave, all these world leaders, are they
Mhm.
going to act in time?
Mm-mm.
I don't think they are.
No,
So
they got
what
to put
happens?
it through all kinds of voting processes and such.
We're not going to do that. We're
No.
going to take action.
Hmm.
Who's we?
We in the GoFundMe for my liver. Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to put? I don't want any money. Don't give me any money. Just give me a liver.
So here's what we see. Like a volcano starting to come to life. We take the GoFundMe money. We get you as much bourbon and scotch as we can jam into your body. Then we aim you at the volcano and you just pee on it and put it out.
I think we have a Popeye video that will show how I will put that video
Not
up.
anymore. HR spoke to me about that. I'm not allowed to play it anymore.
Oh,
I
those were
feel
the good
like
old days.
Chachi's pee would make the fire grow stronger. Am I wrong here?
That sounds poetic. That's somebody
Thank
out
you.
there.
I think that's a hashtag right there.
Yeah, we need Blind Dog to write a song about that.
What's the song
Chachi's
called?
pee makes them.
Yeah,
Chachi's
Chachi's pee. That's all it needs to be. Chachi's pee,
Mhm,
and then
mhm.
makes
wherever he
makes
wants to take it
fire
from there.
Fire grow stronger. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. All right, so the rest of this stuff, you could say, listen, we've been hearing about climate problems for at least 30 to 40 years. I don't know that things are really changing that much. I could tell you in Minnesota, things are changing. Our winters are more brutal and cold, less snowy. Places that aren't supposed to get snow are getting a lot of snow. I think the shift is taking place. And I said shift. I think we are the new Miami soon. And Miami will be the new North Dakota. So, yeah, that's the kind of shift I'm talking about. But you could say, okay, Dave, I can't see asteroid Y2KPJZ coming at us, so I don't believe it's real. And it's only a 3% chance 25 days after we found it. 3% chance. Dave, that's like 98% chance it's not going to hit us. Right? So I get that. I get
97.
supervolcano, right, is bubbling, right? Obviously, we know all we have to do is create a landslide so mud rolls right into the spout of the volcano, puts it all out. That's all natural stuff that I think we can control.
I don't know.
These next two stories, these are the ones that concern me, because when nature, and I don't mean just like the generic term for what nature is, when nature, meaning the creatures that live on this planet, begin doing things, we need to take notice. And in the last few days, if you have not been paying attention, it's kind of spooky. We're going to go to Tasmania for this first story. Are you ready? Yeah. In a heartbreaking event, 157 false killer whales have become stranded on a remote beach near Arthur River in northwest Tasmania, Australia. Despite the valiant efforts of marine experts and volunteers, the challenging location and adverse ocean conditions have made rescue operations exceedingly difficult. As a result, authorities have made the difficult decision to euthanize 90 of the surviving whales to prevent further suffering.
Holy
This
cow.
incident marks the first mass stranding of false killer whales in Tasmania since 1974. The exact cause remains unclear, but potential factors include illness, disorientation, or environmental influences. Post-mortem examinations are planned to seek insights into this tragic event. Researchers are looking into two possible explanations for why this pod ended up in the shallows. Theory one has to do with something we talked about a little bit earlier, Chachi, Earth's magnetic field. Whales navigate using Earth's magnetic field like a built-in GPS. But what if that GPS starts malfunctioning? Some experts believe the geomagnetic shifts, possibly caused by solar storms, may have disoriented the pod, leading them straight into dangerous waters. Now, could that same dangerous solar flare activity be what's affecting airplanes and the GPS systems that are aboard the planes, causing the strange instances? I mean, think about it. You've got planes in the sky, whales in the water, both not doing well when it comes to landing properly. So I am concerned about this. It is tragic. Again, brutal photographs, but this is what we're looking at. The second theory is that Tasmania's waters have been warming faster than most of the world's oceans. That's right, altering the currents and pushing prey species into unfamiliar areas. If those false killer whales followed their food into shallower waters, they may have found themselves in a death trap without even realizing it. Authorities have urged the public to avoid the area, especially given the proximity of an active bushfire, to ensure safety and allow experts to manage the situation effectively. So that, to me, speaks even more volumes. When it's messing, and there was a story not too long ago about these huge pods of birds that were flying, lost their way, lost direction. We now have pods of whales. 150 whales beach themselves.
You should contact Dr. Steingass and talk to her about that. Maybe she has some sort of a interesting perspective. I bet she would.
Greg, why don't you do this?
Would.
You set it up for next week. Invite Dr. Steinglass onto the show.
Yes.
And yeah, that's what I said. And we will have her join us and try to give us some insight into this, because I am serious. When that starts taking place, and they're worried about,
it's horrible, man.
The temperatures changing and the geomagnetic force of the earth changing, messing with the natural GPS of creatures living here, something is going on that we should be aware of. And I'm not trying to say this in a way of, alarmist. I just think we should be a lot more aware. We're not treating this planet well at all.
Well, here's the deal. We know this has happened in the past. We know that we've had ice ages, and then we've had warming times, and we've had ice ages. So we know that our sea level changes, and there's all kinds of other stuff that obviously affects it as well. So this is not something that's contrived and like you're in your grandma's basement making this stuff up. This is real stuff.
This news day reminded me much of the year 2016, right? My mom dies, Prince dies, David Bowie dies, Glenn Frey dies, like so many musicians, boom, 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 boom. Then we're getting into the end of the year. And then George Michael, wham, our final death of that year.
Wow.
Right? I'm thinking after all of these news stories, there's no way things could get weirder, but I was wrong.
Here we
so
go.
wrong. Yeah, the Doomsday Fish. Yeah, the Doomsday Fish. That's what it's called.
That's him. Look at him.
Rumored to bring bad omens, washes ashore in a popular surf town. Beachgoers in the Baja California Sur, Mexico, were stunned when a rare oarfish, often dubbed the Doomsday Fish, appeared near the shore on February 9th. This deep sea dweller, known for its elongated ribbon-like body, typically resides at depths of up to 3,200 feet, making surface sightings exceptionally uncommon. The oarfish's unexpected presence has reignited age-old beliefs linking these creatures to impending natural disasters. In Japanese folklore, the oarfish is called the messenger from the sea god's palace and is believed to surface as a warning of imminent earthquakes or tsunamis. This superstition gained traction after multiple oarfish sightings preceded the devastating 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami in Japan. Similarly, an oarfish washed ashore in Southern California in November 2024, 1 month before a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck the region. These patterns have led many to view the oarfish as an omen of doom. Despite these legends, scientists caution against jumping to conclusions. There's no concrete evidence linking oarfish appearances to seismic activity. Experts suggest that when oarfish surface, it's often due to illness, disorientation, or they're drunk, maybe other environmental factors, such as changes in the ocean's currents or water temperature, perhaps changes in the Earth's geomagnetic sphere. Potentially bringing deep sea creatures closer to the shore. The recent sighting in Mexico adds to a series of unusual oarfish appearances. Yeah, appearances.
Ooh,
I'm saying
fancy.
it the British way. It's
Yeah.
fancy. I felt like we should go out on a high class note.
Like aluminium. Yeah, I get
yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And garage. Yeah, we park our trolley in the garage. Thank you.
Mhm.
Unusual oarfish appearances worldwide. While these events are rare, they offer valuable opportunities for scientific study and public fascination. Whether viewed as a portent of disaster or a marvel of the deep, the oarfish continues to captivate and mystify those who encounter it. So, it has been a week of weird stories, cataclysmic concepts, and devastating dilemmas. Look at that. It's like I'm writing for an old Batman TV show.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's good.
Thank you. Obviously, it's not all gloom and doom, folks. Other good things have happened this week, like
Like what?
the
Like what?
invention of the screw you.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Was it good? Was it good, Dave?
Mm,
You haven't been drinking too much of it. I was just curious.
dude, because when the pictures are up and Chachi's reading,
Chug a
I'm
lug.
just curious. I haven't
I
had
got
a
Chachi tunnel in my ankle from the constant drinking of the tipping of the glass from his reading. Another proof that things are going better. Sweet Tea's first story tonight. Chef's kiss.
my God. It was like
Good point.
It
yeah.
was not
On
that good.
NPR.
It was like an
It was
eighth
that
grader
good.
reading. Yeah, it
Oh,
was like an
thank
eighth.
you.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh my
good.
god, that's so nice.
More proof that things are going pretty good on this planet. Greg is off planet.
Oh, that is great.
He's
I
up
feel
on
like
the
the
island.
energy is lifting
Yeah, he's there
off
keeping an
the
eye.
planet.
He's an
Mhm.
eye watching over our planet
Right.
to make sure that we're safe because he's
The
going to be the
crazy-
guy calling me to tell me, "Hey, Dave, nice knowing you."
The crazy thing is next week I will be in the deep. So
The
Uh,
like the ocean or
Keep that
Yeah.
dirty talk to a
I'm
limited.
gonna get Dr. Steingast to take a trip, and we're gonna go study this stuff a little bit.
can I come?
Yes.
Yay! We're all gonna go on a
Dr.
field trip.
Did that make you feel a little gross the way he said yes after she asked that question?
I'm used to it.
It's not my place to comment on that, Dave. My job is to show up to the show, read stories clearly, and move along.
Oh my god!
Oh, you're not doing a great job.
Hey, Dave, talk about
real quick.
Missouri
Let,
Paracon.
real quick. Let me talk about the Missouri Paracon. The
Thanks.
2025 Missouri Paracon's coming up next week, February 28th through March 1st at the Ameristar Casino and Hotel in Kansas City, Missouri. I'll be there. Greg will be there. Shane's going to be there. Steve and Tango are going to be there. There are a ton of amazing speakers and guests that'll be there and some hangers on. So if you come, you might have a great time. Probably going to. This is the very first annual Missouri Paracon. It's going to be an amazing time, and I hope that we get a chance to see you there. Check out all the great things that I'm going to be doing this year, all the amazing places I'm going to be visiting at darknessevents.com. And let me remind you, I want to see you join me at the Palmer House Hotel in Sauk Center, Minnesota. We have a handful of tickets still available. That's March 27th through March 30th. Sarah Lemos and Scotty Davis, Ask the Mediums, right here from the Paranormal 60 program, will be joining me for a great weekend of fun. We also have Kevin Swanson, the tech guru, who's going to have a bunch of cool toys and devices for us to play with and try to investigate the paranormal with. We are going to be doing some brand new presentations. There are going to be gallery sessions from Sarah and Scotty, and we're also going to, are you ready for this? 2 nights of investigations. The first night, unlike any we've ever done before. So I hope that you will check it out. Again, all the information at darknessevents.com. So with the news that we delivered today, Sweet Tea, is there anything you'd like to leave our audience with? Any final thoughts to maybe try to, get people back on track for the happy?
Thank you for asking, Dave. I would just like to tell everyone to have a little bit of empathy for people that you cannot relate to, because why wouldn't you? That's weird. Also, maybe pay attention to what's going on everywhere and not just your neighborhood. Thank you, Dave. Back to you.
Okay. Chachi, how about you, buddy? It's your turn to shine.
Well, first off, that was a waste of about 15 seconds of our podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I appreciate your time. Listen, this was a bit of an enjoyable time, but also
just a bit,
but also a little scary for me. Okay, what is it called? Damn screw dam.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Listen, don't let the night be a reflection of your week. Okay. Things may look bad on paper, but things are going to be so much better 7 days from now when we come to tell you the good news that's happening. So,
and as bad as you think things look on paper, they're worse when we read them.
That's true.
That's true.
Wow, that's a hashtag right there.
If what we're reading is a 10, what the papers say is like a 2. So here's what I would ask.
Okay.
Show up next week. Spend the next 7 days cleansing your liver in case anyone on the show needs it really quickly. Thank you, Dave.
Is
all right.
You?
Let's go, because my quarter is almost up in the parking ramp in the ISS. So, Greg, it's up to you. What do you want to wrap up with this evening?
Hey, buddy, I want you to know the world looks a lot different from up here. When I look down, I see one unified Earthlings group. And we all need to be able to talk to each other and work our way through this, because there's only one thing we have in common, really, is we're all going to die. Be kind to one another.
I just gave you information. You bring it back down. Let me say the last word here, Dave. Okay. So if you're a fan of Sweet Tea, and let's be honest, who isn't? Very attractive lady who speaks half
eloquently
time to time. Greg Lawson up in the ISS looking down on us judgingly. Dave Schrader, the most positive guy in the paranormal. I'm just here to make all 3 of those into a pumpkin pie. And tonight, tonight we did that. We brought happiness where there wasn't happiness. So for the next 6 days, think to yourselves, if I could only think one happy thought, it's the next week I'll spend time with the Paranormal 60 news team learning about how wonderful life truly is.
That's beautiful.
Oh man. Look at this.
Yeah, that deserved an 80s slow clap, and you survived the 80s. I know you had to clap a couple times. So let's do this as we wrap up. Hey, folks, I know I talk about the Paranormal 360, my radio show. For you fans of aliens, UAPs, UFOs, abductions, implants, holy macaroni, go check out last Sunday's episode. Wherever you listen to podcasts, look up Paranormal 360. Paranormal 360. Listen to the most recent episodes. It's a 2-hour show. Haley Ramsey Haley Allison Ramsey was my guest. And literally, I've never heard a story like hers in my 19 years of doing this. Go check it out. One of the more fascinating episodes. Again, Paranormal 360 is the name of the podcast.
What is it?
Yeah. The warnings have been spoken, my friends. The signs are appearing, but is this just the beginning? It's a good question. A city killer asteroids, supervolcano that's stirring, whales, fish, and the planet itself trying to warn us. And if that wasn't enough, leaked revelations claim the greatest secret in human history may finally be exposed. Coincidence? Maybe. But when the world starts looking like a doomsday prophecy, maybe it's time to start paying attention. One thing's for sure, we'll be here, bringing you the stories that matter on the only new show you need to listen to. The stories they don't want you to hear. Until next time, stay curious, stay weird, stay thirsty. I'm Dave Schrader, and this has been our Paranormal 60 News.
It's Wednesday night, and I'm alone. The Paranormal 60's on. It's just for paranormal freaks like me, with poltergeists and ghosts and moves and UAVs. You miss a word, you do a shot. It starts to snowball and we laugh a lot. It's just like drinking with your TV friends. I'll be passed out before tonight's show ends, dreaming the aliens are taking me away. I'll go wake up till sometime late on Saturday. It's Wednesday night and I'm alone. The Paranormal 60's on. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. Sweet tea, Chachi and the Colonel and the Paranormal Detective. All these traders copy and they all will be corrected. He's got protected phrases and some crazy magic tricks. Even Scully cannot save him from the voice of Stevie Nicks. Schrader's on. Schrader's on. It's Wednesday night, don't be alone. The Paranormal 60's on. Now one day Dave might even put me on his show. There's a ghost in my mom's basement, man, I live down there, I know. It's Wednesday night, don't be alone. The Paranormal